The Silva Method of Mind Control. Jose Silva was born in August 1914 in Laredo, Texas. He was 4 years old when his father passed away, and his mother remarried, at which point he and his younger brother and older sister went to live with their grandmother. 2 years later, he was working selling newspapers, shining shoes, and doing odd jobs. Because of this, he never attended school, and his siblings taught him how to read. One day, while waiting for his turn at the barber's and looking for something to read, he found a correspondence course to learn how to repair radios. The barber told him he could only read it if he paid him and let him resolve the exam. He did this for several weeks, paying $1 for each book and completing the attached exams until he completed the course. He later started his own business, which became the largest in the area. One day, a psychiatrist came to his shop asking somewhat strange questions as part of a research study. He asked Jose things like, "Do you wet the bed? Do you like women?" This piqued Jose's curiosity about the mind and IQ. His curiosity grew, and he began studying Freud, Jung, and Adler. He wanted to know if it was possible to improve IQ through hypnosis. His starting point was understanding that the brain functions through electricity, like radios, and that there is an alpha state. He also knew that the ideal circuit is the one that presents minimal resistance or impedance because it makes better use of electrical energy. The logical question then was whether the mind would work better if its impedance were lowered. Would it be possible to achieve that? During his studies, he started using hypnosis on his children. Soon, he discovered that the brain generated more energy when it was less active. At lower frequencies, the brain received and stored more information. The problem was that in a hypnotic state, it became difficult to utilize the information obtained. Therefore, he began with mental control exercises that achieved the mental state of alpha waves, which led to extremely interesting results. This method establishes a direct and effective connection with a superior and omnipresent intelligence that provides wisdom, discernment, and the feeling of a benevolent and powerful presence. This method consists of structured meditation teachings to reach the mental state of alpha waves, thereby accessing superior intelligence and its virtues. In the morning, as soon as you wake up, close your eyes and look upwards at a 20-degree angle. This is important as this eye position alone induces an alpha state. Slowly count down from 100 to 1 with a frequency of one number approximately every 2 seconds. This exercise will put you in an alpha state. To exit this state, always use the same technique to avoid spontaneous exits. The way to do this is to say mentally, "I will slowly come out while I count from 1 to 5, and I will feel completely awake and better than before." It is necessary to repeat this exercise every day for 10 days, then count from 50 to 1, then from 25 to 1, and then from 5 to 1. Each time should be for 10 days before decreasing the countdown. Once you can enter the alpha state by counting down from 5 to 1, you will be able to meditate at other times. This is more challenging since when we wake up, we are in a slightly alpha state, and it is easier to achieve a full alpha state. On the other hand, entering the alpha state at another time is more complex because the waking state is beta, and transitioning from beta to alpha is somewhat more complicated. To transition from beta to alpha, sit in a chair with your feet firmly on the ground and your arms relaxed on your legs. An alternative to this position is the lotus position. Next, focus on your body, starting from your feet. Consciously relax each muscle progressively and upwards until you reach your head. Afterwards, you should fix your gaze straight ahead at a 45-degree angle and count down from 50 to 1, repeating the exercise for 10 days and gradually going down to 5, just like in the previous exercise. The difference now is that the exercise can be repeated more than once a day. Once you manage the alpha state, you should practice visualization, and for this, a mental screen in front of you about 2 meters away is useful. On this screen, everything you need to imagine will be projected. Initially, the exercise consists of visualizing something simple and familiar, like an apple or an orange. You should imagine every detail, color, flavor, and texture progressively. Alternatively, instead of visualizing, you can concentrate on a sound like OM or focus on your own breathing. Start by recalling something pleasant that happened to you in the previous days. Then begin meditation and project what happened onto the mental screen. If there are different images, project them temporally from left to right. Live and enjoy this experience. Compare the experience in the beta state of what happened with what is recreated in the alpha state. Then you can project everyday experiences, like recreating the place where you left your keys. Once you have mastered these exercises, the next step is to connect a real experience with a desired one. To project your desire from the mental screen into your life, it is necessary to follow some laws regarding the desired projection. Feel the desire. B. Believe in the desire. C. Feel the hope. D. Do not wish negative things for others. By definition, if you wish harm on someone, you would be in a beta state and would not achieve your desire. 3 different techniques can be applied to improve memory. Associate what you want to memorize with something you already have memorized. For example, linking some numbers to names or places. The screen technique involves visualizing the specific information you are trying to remember on your mental screen. For example, if you lost your keys, visualize on the mental screen the last time you saw the keys and try to track what happened afterwards, visualizing everything on the mental screen. The 3-finger technique. This involves bringing together the thumb, index, and middle fingers of both hands to evoke a higher state of consciousness where you can access information you thought was forgotten but is actually stored in the unconscious. Evoking this higher state of consciousness will take time. The first time you try, you may not succeed, but with practice, it becomes extremely effective. The process consists of placing your thumbs, index fingers, and ring fingers of both hands together and then repeating the mantra. Whenever I bring my fingers together this way for a good reason, I will enter a level of awareness to achieve what I set out to accomplish. The SILVA method of mind control.